should be scared. But something about watching Chris get demolished over and over is so therapeutic.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most savage total drama moments.
Here's an open letter to a treasure of a girl.
That's me.
Whose behavior on the show always makes me hurl.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most brutal scenes from this animated reality franchise, including some of the harshest comebacks and the gruesome beatdowns. Most of these biting moments are pretty story-heavy, so expect spoilers ahead. What do you think was the fiercest Wawanakwa moment? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Zoey snaps. Total drama, Revenge of the Island. It's been said that total drama brings out the worst in people, and everyone has their breaking point.
Between this and Mike being voted off, I've just about had it with this show.
For example, Zoey is the sweet, naive girl of season 4 who could barely hurt a fly, but during a challenge, Chef Hatchet hunts her down, humiliates her, and causes her most treasured possession to break. And thus, Commando Zoey is born. She becomes an aggressive survivalist who lays traps and outmaneuvers Chef at his own game.
It's payback time!
The scariest part is that Zoey remains this vengeful powerhouse until the next episode, where she gets a much-needed reality check. It just goes to show that even the nicest people have their dark sides when you push their buttons too much.
The thing that can turn a passive small-town teen who sews her own clothes into a hardened extermination machine.
Number 9. A brotherly beatdown. Total drama all-stars. What could be more brutal than seeing the unstoppable Izzy getting knocked out?
Enough chitter chatter.
How about when, in that same episode, we see Alejandro squaring up against his older brother Jose? Alejandro lives in his brother's shadow, and Jose nicknames him Al just to bug him.
Jose always has to win! Always! He lives to make me miserable!
So this fight's been a long time coming. At first, it looks pretty equal, until Jose takes it too far by insulting Alejandro's one true love, Heather.
Your technique is almost as embarrassing as the way your girlfriend with the unattractive personality burned you on national television.
At last, Alejandro goes full beast mode on his smug sibling and knocks him hard off his pedestal. Even if Alejandro is evil, it's satisfying to see him get some payback, and it's heartwarming to see him defend Heather. Number 8. Jose's meltdown. Total Drama presents The Redonkulous Race.
If the other teams think they've got a chance, they're kidding themselves.
The ice dancers, Jacques and Jose, were undeniably the most ruthless and cutthroat players on The Redonkulous Race. Yet they managed to avoid elimination throughout the whole season. However, karma finally catches up with them when they're axed in the finale.
Jacques and Jose, I'm sorry that it took me so long to say this. You're cut from the competition!
At first, it looks like they're taking it well, until Jose loses it, destroying everything in sight. The only thing that can calm her down is the bitter reality that their worldwide journey is over, and they've lost. Sucks to be them, but it's cathartic given how horrid they've been throughout the race. Who knows, maybe after this, Jose will learn to be a better human, but probably not.
I'm going to be a better person, starting now!
Ah, Jose, I am so proud of you!
Or maybe now!
Number 7. Harold punches out Duncan. Total drama action. Since they first met in season 1, the geeky Harold and bad boy Duncan have been bitter rivals.
It's about time the nerdling learned how to fight, and I'm more than happy to teach him. Of course, the best way to learn how to throw a punch is to get punched. Repeatedly.
However, when they're paired together for a challenge in total drama action, it looks like they're finally moving on. Or at least they could have, if Duncan hadn't opened his mouth and mocked the girl of Harold's dreams, Lashana.
That girl's as delicate as a freight train, and...
Enraged, Harold swiftly hits Duncan. As much as we would have liked to watch two enemies become friends, seeing Harold unleash his wicked skills on the punk who constantly picks on him is even more satisfying. Even Duncan had to admit he was impressed.
Can you believe how fast the student became the teacher? Little twerpwad did me proud.
Number 6. Revenge of the Interns. Total drama, Revenge of the Island. Honestly, why would anyone want to intern for Chris McLean? He subjects his interns to humiliating and extremely dangerous tasks and doesn't even pretend to care what happens to them. But in Season 4's Eat, Puke, and Be Wary, they finally get their revenge. To set the scene, a freak accident leaves Chris trapped in the bathroom and unable to host the challenge.
Get ready for bubbles, flowers, and cotton.
He calls out for help, but the interns don't give him the time of day.
Hello? Someone give me a hand. I'm almost free. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
We can't say we blame them. Later, they take it a step further and pull a prank that makes Chris's situation even nastier.
More sewage! Help!
Their boss may never stop tormenting them, but this one moment might make it worth it. Number 5, a little something called Victory, Total Drama World Tour. One of the biggest highlights of World Tour is the love-hate relationship between Heather and Alejandro. That arc ultimately comes to a head as they face off in the finale, and he admits his love to her.
Because you have stolen my heart.
But while the two come together for a smooch, she hits him where it hurts the most, right in the pride. She goes right for his privates and throws him aside, preferring to win the prize instead.
So long, sucker!
Ouch. We're not sure what stings more, the actual injury or having a woman you love harshly reject you. Either way, the moment is a win for Heather, who outfoxes the only villain worse than her.
Boys are okay, but $1 million is way better!
Number 4, long overdue payback, Total Drama Island. After 8 gruesome, humiliating weeks, the first season of Total Drama is finally reaching its conclusion. However, there's still one last thing the campers need to do: get some good old-fashioned revenge.
Yo, Owen, you know what it's time for?
The guys grab hold of Chris and send him into the lake. Consider everything Chris has put them through. All the degrading, harmful challenges, and every time he's embarrassed them just because he could.
Well, that looks safe enough.
If you ask us, he's had it coming since day one, and to see the campers finally deliver him his comeuppance is like a breath of fresh air. Even Chef declares that he's wanted to dunk Chris all summer.
I've been wanting to do that all summer. How do you like that, pretty boy?
Number 3, the start of a rivalry, Total Drama Island. Heather and Lashana are heated rivals throughout much of Total Drama's first 3 seasons. But how did it all begin? Well, during the very first challenge, Heather won't dive off the cliff in a bid to make sure her hair stays intact.
I'm sorry, there's no way I'm doing this.
Why not?
Hello, national TV. I'll get my hair wet.
But Lashana is having none of that, and the two clash in a vicious verbal back and forth, and they do not hold back.
Mall shopping, ponytail wearing, teen girl reading, peeking in high school prom queen.
In the end, it's Lashana who comes out on top when she tosses Heather off the cliff. Don't worry, Heather survives the jump. Still, the moment marks the beginning of an ongoing war of sorts.
Did you mean all that stuff you said to LaFonda back there?
Lashana? No, she's going down.
Number 2, Heather's best insult, Total Drama World Tour. Arguably one of Courtney's most annoying traits is her boasting about her being a CIT, aka Counselor in Training, to everyone.
I am a CIT!
Seriously, they got it the first time. One day, when she pulls the I am a CIT card again, Heather retaliates, spelling out a far nastier word before being cut off.
More like a BITC.
Guys.
Even if she doesn't finish, we pretty much all know what she's getting at. Having the characters curse is nothing new on Total Drama, even when it's censored or obscured. Still, seeing the Queen of Mean herself cleverly use the technique while topping off with clever wordplay is just too good to pass up. This is why Heather and Courtney shouldn't be on the same team.
Okay, Heather, I think maybe you need to consider chilling out.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Her real name isn't Blanley, Total Drama World Tour. If you're gonna roast someone, why not do it in a song? Owen chews out Heather, Total Drama Island. Even Owen, one of the nicest campers on the show, has had it with Heather.
Mama always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. In which case, Heather would say nothing ever. She is the meanest, the nastiest, the biggest cold-hearted meanie in all of Kalamazoo! No offense.
Gwen belches in Heather's face. Total Drama Island. Heather tries to insult Gwen and gets shut down.
At this rate, Trent's gonna need a fumigation squad just
Lindsay burns Courtney. Total drama action. Lindsay asks Duncan to the movies just to irritate Courtney, and it works.
It was a good strategistical, logical move because it messed with Courtney's head. This is not fair!
Sean versus the Chris robots. Total drama, Pakatu Island. There's something satisfying about seeing a bunch of Chris lookalikes being torn to pieces. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Lindsay tells Heather off. Total Drama Island. While everyone grows to hate Heather in Season 1, Lindsay still sees her as her BFF.
Heather's really smart. I'm lucky to have her as a friend.
The latter isn't exactly the brightest bulb, but her loyalty is admirable. It's just too bad Heather isn't loyal back. She lets Lindsay be eliminated in the motocross challenge and admits she was just manipulating the blonde all season.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna be best friends for life or anything.
The moment Lindsay understands this, she brings Heather down to earth in a major way. She furiously chews out and berates the queen bee, even going on a cursing rampage.
All that bad stuff people say about you is true. Like how you're a two-faced, backstabbing, lying little, no-good, selfish...
Few would expect to see such a sweetheart have a potty mouth, but given what her so-called friend did, this is both hilarious and very freeing for her, and everyone else. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.